There was a strong history of carriage building in this area, partly because of the hardwood forests and partly because we had a base of skilled workers here who could do that kind of labor. So it was natural the Fisher brothers should be involved in that, natural that they should get interested in the automobile industry.
Fred was the oldest, and there were the 7 boys, and then there were 4 daughters. I don't think the Lawrence Fisher family was ever affluent. I mean, there were a lot of mouths to feed around the table and a lot of school books to buy and so forth. And a story is that they didn't have enough Sunday trousers to all go to church together. So some of them would go first, early church, come home, exchange trousers with the others who were the right size, and then those younger ones would go to later church because there just weren't enough britches to go around in the family.
So the idea of families working together, not so unusual, but to have 7 brothers come to Detroit together really bespoke the strong family connection that they felt with each other.
Detroit in the teens and the 20s is what Silicon Valley is today. You know, there's all this innovation going on. There is tremendous amounts of wealth being created. I mean, Henry Ford has more money than, what's the saying? He has more money than God.
The logo is a Napoleonic coach, so not necessarily a coach owned by Napoleon, but one of that era. And I think it suggests a couple of things, in some ways subtly and in some way very overtly. You know, it suggests that this car is luxurious. It's produced to a high standard, similar to the coaches of Napoleon's time. So it gives some class to a vehicle, even if it's a humble or modestly priced vehicle, shall we say.
And they did a really great job with their advertising. I mean, you saw that coach on everything, and they spent a lot of money in magazines, you know, with handsome people, handsome, well-dressed people, and that coach displayed, you know, Body by Fisher. Fisher means quality. Just spectacular stuff.
They had lunch together every day for 25 years that they met for lunch, and one of them for sure would be stopping in that afternoon to visit their mother, but then they would also decide at lunch who would spend the evening with her, which probably involved, I'm sure, a 3-hour shift. And I have heard that she never was alone. She never spent an evening alone.
The late 1920s saw several iconic skyscrapers go up in the city of Detroit. The Penobscot Building, the Guardian Building, the David Stott Building were all being built during this time. Beautiful buildings done by wonderful architects. The Fishers chose Albert Kahn and Joseph French, who was actually the lead architect on the project, to build them something that was unique. It's a spectacular building, remains a spectacular building, and the final product was just stunning. I mean, it still remains Detroit's largest piece of art.
They very seldom gave interviews. Almost never would any of the brothers give an interview or talk about their business, or obviously wouldn't talk about their wealth, their worth. I think the boys just simply were just what they were. They were hardworking people who just didn't want to tell a lot of their own business.